Welcome to the Retiring Real Estate Investor Podcast, where we will discuss how to defer taxes on the sale of your property, earning passive real estate income, and everything you need to know to go from active investor to passive investor. Join us as we interview passive investment sponsors, explore the journey of other retiring real estate investors, and share our due diligence process we perform to select passive investments. Investment advisory services provided by Insight Investment Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. This podcast is only intended for clients and interested investors residing in the states in which we are registered to provide investment advisory services or exempt from registration. Please contact us to determine if the firm provides investment advisory services in the state where you reside. All content on this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered investment advice. Material presented is believed to be reliable sources, and no representations are made by our firm as to another party's informational accuracy or completeness. Insight Investment Advisors, LLC and its representatives do not provide tax or legal advice. Nothing herein should be construed as such. Always consult with your tax advisor or attorney regarding your specific circumstances. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Retiring Real Estate Investor. I'm your host, Brandon Bruckman. Excited to be joined by Bryan Hayes today, as Brian's got some very interesting things that he's working on. Bryan, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for that introduction. It is interesting, especially when it comes to AI. I mean, everyone wants to talk about AI, but this is cool. This is different.
It is. So there's really two items that you're focused on. I'll let you please introduce yourself to the audience about your background, where you're coming from, and these exciting things that you're working
on. Yeah. My name is Bryan Hayes. I'm currently a tenant rep broker at Tenant Services Group. I'm their senior associate and just joined the brokerage firm. Actually came out of retirement, I guess you could say. But I was previously with a top 5 firm, NAI Global affiliate here in Dallas, and was in their retail division. I did urban retail, and I represented landlords and tenants alike. So it's in the urban core of Dallas, which is uptown, downtown, high-rise buildings, high density. I got through COVID doing that and left the industry in 2022. And got some golden handcuffs. Didn't like them. I hated them. They were bad. They burned my skin. And so I left, and I was like, well, it's not time to get back into real estate. What am I going to do? And I went down the trail of AI, and that led me to founding a company called Convrzn, and specializing in voice intelligence and voice AI. And all of our prospective clients were saying, we need metrics. And no one was wanting to adopt voice AI because it's so new. And so I was like, all right, guys, I'm getting back in the saddle and I'll get you metrics. So I'm using voice AI on my own personal brokerage business at Tenant Services Group.
Got you. So talk a little bit about, I think some of our listeners may not be aware of your role as a tenant service, that rep role, that broker role there. Can you describe that in more detail?
Absolutely. I run defense between the landlord and the tenant and the landlord's broker. And I act on your behalf, leveraging relationships, leveraging market knowledge, insights, understanding of the current situation, and providing those insights to a tenant when they're doing a new lease or a relocation of their office or industrial space. So I specialize in clients in the technology, manufacturing, logistics, and professional services. That kind of covers everyone, but it doesn't cover everyone, as you know. Real estate pretty deep.
Yeah, that's a pretty
sub little sets.
But that's a pretty broad set to cover. And I think we started our conversation where I started to get interested was this local market data that never seems to be easily accessible, in my opinion, is something that you're specializing in. So what are those things that folks just don't get their hands on, that you have, that the data set you're building? Talk about that.
So as a broker, why someone hires you is your experience and what you know, because in my opinion, no one hires or pays somebody or want someone to get paid for doing something unless if they can do it themselves.
Mhm.
So you have to bring something that they can't do themselves and they still need. And so knowledge on goings on and what happens in real time, like, oh, I know a deal that just got done in that building. I either represented the tenant or I, spoke to the broker and they did a negotiation this way and this is how it ended up. An average tenant wouldn't know that. A landlord may not even know that. They'll know if it's a deal in their building, but it's called lease comps. And that is something so hard to get a hold of, especially in a non-disclosure state like Texas.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so having that as a database, you go to these tenants and you act as a professional. I know that you should pay this because this information that I have. Where Ty comes in, and that's what we're calling the voice AI assistant.
Mhm.
It's a market intelligence assistant. And we could weekly, it would know when the last update came in, and you would be able to call like a hotline, market intelligence hotline, as a tenant or as a landlord and find out market insights. I remember when I first started in real estate, if you could call it, I was leasing apartments.
Mhm.
And how we knew what the market rate was for a specific vacancy that we were about to put on the market is we would do a market survey and we would fax a piece of paper. Of course, the paper wasn't being sent, but we would fax a sheet and fill in our rates, and they would fill out their rates, and then they would fax it to the next property, and it would almost go around to all these other properties until it comes back to you and you get the final with all of the other filled in marks. And then you're like, okay, that's market. So it's hoping everyone plays honest. Well, a lot of times people don't, or people
Yeah.
conceal. Sometimes they don't do that.
No.
But that is such a slow, archaic way to get information around.
Mhm.
And so with voice AI, you'll know when it's updated and you'll just have to update the knowledge base, which is simply uploading the text document, and it knows it.
How are you calling then that data or pulling that data in? Is it still that? I mean, obviously you're not
It's
faxing.
still the
It's still sort of
backwards
manual,
way.
right?
It's still sort of manual. You
Yep.
have to go to an industry standards called CoStar. It's kind of like MLS
Mhm.
for residential. It's like what is available professionally. And then you have to pay extra money to this very same company. It's a subsidiary company
Mhm.
if you want it found on Google.
Mhm.
So not all commercial properties are found on Google,
Mhm.
like Zillow is with residential, where you see all of the availables. They
Mhm.
conceal unless the landlord, the property owner, pays a lot more money. It's like $2,500 a month per property.
Oh.
Some properties are $10,000 a month.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes. So it's expensive to get this commercial information out. So what we're using Ty for is to not only do the outreach to the tenants
Mhm.
and telling them, hey, we would like to give you information. I want to book a meeting with our professionals.
Mhm.
That's what it's doing on an outbound basis. We're training it to go from receptionist to executive assistant to decision maker, speaking with 3 different people in a single conversation and knowing it.
Gotcha.
It'd be very difficult. And we're testing that. It's not ready. But what is ready is something called the TSG hotline.
Okay.
It is a market intelligence hotline. If you don't mind, I think we should just talk to Ty.
Let's talk to Ty.
Just get a call going.
Bring Ty in.
What are you doing talking about it?
We're all going to be replaced by Ty eventually, so we might as well get started and get Ty.
Get known Ty. Don't think of Ty as replacing. Think of Ty as enhancing. Yes, yes. It does the work that it's so redundant. You say the same thing. When you book a meeting, it's the same thing, repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So we're optimizing society with voice AI.
We've been vastly early adopters of this technology in our business, in our lives too. I had two high school daughters when AI started to promulgate itself, and I said,
Lucky.
use it now. Use it
Yes.
now,
Can you
today.
imagine if we had that in school?
Oh God. That's
They
what
were telling us, I remember my teachers were telling us, what do you think you're going to walk around with a calculator in your pocket?
yes, I
Well,
am.
actually, yes.
Yes, I am. And way more than that. Way more than that. All the
I
world's knowledge
wish
too.
I wish I would have paid attention more when I was younger in typing class. So short-sighted. I was so
They
short-sighted.
didn't teach you with thumbs then.
Granted with thumbs. Oh, how dare them. All right, let's call time.
Let's call them.
Hello?
Hello. Hi, a voice AI market intelligence assistant from Tenant Services Group. So you must be looking for some real-time, data-driven market intelligence. Am I right? Now, who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today?
My name is Bryan, and I'm actually a guest on a podcast, and I really want to show you off.
Brian, that's fantastic. I'm honored to be a guest star on your podcast. Finally, my moment to shine without any awkward silences. So since you're showcasing me, what kind of commercial real estate market intelligence would you like me to share with your listeners? Are we talking Dallas, Fort Worth, or somewhere else?
Dallas, Fort Worth, let's do downtown central business district. Give me an oversight view of the downtown Dallas central business district.
The Dallas Central Business District, where the skyline tells a story and the vacancy rates have a few plot twists. According to the latest CoStar report, which Tenant Services Group gave me, the Dallas CBD office market is currently showing an average asking rent around $20.45 per square foot. The vacancy rate is sitting at about 10%, with approximately 247 million square feet available.
How does that help me as a tenant? I'm an office tenant in Uptown, and I'm thinking of moving downtown. How does that help me?
See what you're getting at, Brian. You're juggling the uptown vibe and the downtown grind, huh? Well, here's the scoop. Downtown Dallas CBD offers a solid 10% vacancy, which means more negotiating power for you. You might find better rates or incentives compared to Uptown, where rents can be way higher. Uptown's average lease rate clocks in around $55 per square foot, quite the jump. Plus, downtown has a mix of plug-and-play suites and flexible spaces that could align with your needs. But hey, moving downtown isn't just about numbers. It's about location, amenities, and your team's lifestyle too. What's drawing you to consider downtown over Uptown?
You know, I really don't know if I'm considering downtown over Uptown. Just looking at my options. Can you tell me a little bit about Tenant Services Group? Is that who you're calling from?
The classic just exploring phase, always the most fun. Tenant Services Group is your tenant-first commercial real estate partner. We exclusively represent tenants like you, never landlords. So our loyalty is 100% to your best interest. Led by Jim Montgomery, a 30-year industry veteran with dual SIOR designations, and Bryan Hayes, a data-driven strategist, we help companies unlock leverage, cut costs, and align real estate decisions with business goals. Whether you're looking to grow, consolidate, or just future-proof your space, TSG is here to make your lease work for you, not against you. So, Brian, what's the size of the space you're currently in or thinking about? That'll help me tailor the info I share.
Just a little test.
I didn't realize this was gonna be so engaging. Like, wow, like personality through the roof.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fascinating. Where do I start? What does that look like? So like, how do you work that into sort of your client acquisition process? Are people coming there first and kind of going through that? It's much more I thought it was gonna be much more data driven and data specific. I mean, you can strategize your way through that call too.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
what you're
you
thinking
can ask
about.
anything. Oh, you know
Yeah.
what it didn't say? It messed up because I made a sound. I cleared my throat right before it answered. And
Oh,
so like it bugged up. Hold on, you didn't hear the first.
AI market intelligence assistant from Tenant Services Group. Now, you must be looking for some real-time and data-driven market intelligence. So, who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today?
My name is Bryan.
Hi, Bryan. Great to meet you. Just want to make sure I heard you right. Did you say Bryan? And are you an existing client of Tenant Services Group? Or is this your first time calling the TSG hotline?
This is my first time calling.
Well, Bryan, great to have you calling the TSG hotline for the first time. Before we dive in, I want you to know that a conversation with me is much like your life. You get out what you put in. So please be detailed. Feel free to ask clarifying questions and interrupt me if something I say resonates. The more I know about your business and needs, the better I can tailor the info for you. Now, tell me, Bryan, which market or submarket are you interested in? Are you looking at Dallas or somewhere else?
So you see how it's different based on what you say?
Yeah.
Like if it was short, then it says that. But since I pretty much said, hey, I want to show you off on the podcast, it skipped over certain points of the conversation.
Yeah.
So how I mix this in and how we're going to mix this in as we're still testing the outbound, this would be a hotline that we would give out via email or on the phone and just tell tenants, hey, if you want something cool to look at because you need a differentiator in commercial real estate or in real estate, period.
Yep.
And it's like, we updated with market data. If you ever have a question, whenever that is, give this number a call. And we would do that for prospects and then clients. Hey, just tell them if you're a client or not, and it'll have the different conversation with you. We saw two different types of conversations.
It depends on what we tell. It's way so much more personality than I expected.
Good.
How far? It's funny. It ties funny. So how far can it take me, right? So let's imagine I keep rolling down that path. I'm like, all right, I got some market rates. I do want to move uptown. Can it find me a space? Can we get to the point where, like, how far can I go? Can I sign a lease?
No, you can't sign a lease. No, think of Ty is just providing you with the decision to make. That's all Ty is doing. Is here's information. What's your decision? And then the decision would be, okay, we've got this. I like this space. I like this building. I've picked the things I like where it collects the information. And then it'll say, would you like to book a meeting with Jim and Bryan to speak about this further? And it would book a meeting or alert us and book a meeting. It could send out calendar invites. It could send out emails for us. Ty gives us a summary of the call. We can listen to the call. Yeah. I'd share my screen, but that's too much. We're in the weeds here. But no, it pretty much think of it just connects you with a professional and gives you a decision to make. That's all Ty is doing.
Gotcha. With data though, the real data that's particularly
we upload. Yeah. It did say that on there, according to the CoStar data that they recently gave to me.
Yeah, but I like how it kind of takes you through that it gets you to making a decision, but it takes you through that decision process a little bit, right?
Yep.
Like how to make that decision, right? And that's probably some of the stuff that's the most useful as you're going through it, right?
Yep. It asks those probing questions. It says, so how many square feet are you looking at? Oh, you're looking from uptown to downtown. Well, here's the difference. And it gives you an opinion, make a decision. What are we doing next? So it always puts the call forward to the next step. And then the final step, to the success of the call is a book a meeting.
Yep. And once you get to that stage, I mean, you're already having your first interaction with that client is really probably feels like the second or third interaction.
Yeah, because then you got something cool to talk about. You're like, dude, how'd you like Ty? It's like having your assistant. It's like, my assistant will call you. That's such a power move. I got an assistant. I'm not busy.
It feels two steps way beyond that though. It feels like that form that I want to make our clients fill out before they have a conversation with us, and they just don't want to fill it out. And I don't blame them. Who wants to fill out a form?
What this will take over. So you'd have a hotline, you'd have a podcast hotline. Hey, you want to be a guest on my podcast? It could ask probing questions to decide if you give it the parameters, of course, on if it would be a good guest or not. So we're going into, so there's 13 industries that Convrzn has decided on. Those are where we can specialize in. 13 different industries. Real estate is one of them. So we're industry agnostic. We're AI agnostic. You can use GPT. You can use Grok. You can use Gemini. Same with the voices. They're pretty. You can use any of the voice providers. We're trying to make this as easy as possible, but where we differentiate is the persona. As you're calling Ty, I want it to be your digital representation of your business. And the voice is a digital representation of your business. So it needs to be powerful, but you need to give it a name. And I think Ty, that doesn't sound an American name. It doesn't sound like an Asian name. It doesn't sound like a boy name or a girl name.
Could be anything.
It could be anything. TI. I mean, it's just so simple.
Oh, so interesting. So then as you're thinking about, let's like spin this to where you're taking the business a little bit. So as when you're thinking about potential clients that want to use this in their business, it becomes a customization activity where someone like me can design that however I wanted to and give it whatever kind of personality I wanted to give it. That as you described represents, our business or us or talking to us. So it seems like that's one of the most difficult things for us to put through. And it's why we do this podcast and the social content and all this. I was like, I want you to know who I am. I want you to hear my voice. And if you're into that, great. Come on down. Like, we want you on board. That's how we differentiate ourselves. This is a great tool to do that. Am I getting this right?
Yep. Exactly like it.
Yep.
It is downloading history of you and gives the caller a sneak peek of what to expect. Because the sales process, that's all it is. It's like an introduction on how that company does business. So the better the sales process, the better your service is going to be, for sure. Like, that's always my canary in the mine shaft. If the canary dies, the air is bad, run. Like, if the salesman sucks, that's not a good product.
Yeah, it's
not a good product. So that's what we're looking for. But you want to have the differentiator. Is something cool to talk about. No one has been successfully able to scale voice AI or conversational AI. And the reason is that no one really knows. It's so new. It's so new. It's so cutting edge. And it's so like, it's more than a parlor trick, but I'm using parlor tricks to get that person to think, what else can it do?
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
So I've got like the love line. I've got the survival line. I'm going to have the drunk line. I'm going to have the parent line. I'll have the space line. You can talk to a Russian cosmonaut lost in space. Like, I'm going all in on making content to show people. It's almost like, when the car first came out, everyone was scared to get in it.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone is with conversational AI. Even my co-founder, he thought, man, I thought this would be easier. I thought people would get it sooner. Like, no, who are you talking about?
No, it's going to take a minute to. The biggest thing I'm encountering when I introduce some of these just basic like ChatGPT tools to people is like, they're limited in their brain about how they can think about it. Right? It opens their brain up to like, oh, this can do this. I don't know how many conversations I've had with people.
I've already been doing it this way.
Exactly. Like, I don't use a search engine anymore. I use the AI, and they're like, really? Yeah. Why aren't you doing that? Right? Like, I don't understand why I'm doing it yet. It's a brain opening activity, right? How do you bust people's brains open? Is it just experience with the tool, or what are some ways?
I think it's experience. I think it's lifting the veil. Because someone asked me, how does it work?
Yeah.
And all I responded was magic. And she laughed. And that was the end of the conversation. And then it got me thinking, I was like, that's what it is. They're scared because it's like that unknown. It's like the Wizard of Oz. You think it's smoke and mirrors. It actually isn't but it is all you're doing is anticipating a conversation and giving it guidelines. If the conversation goes here, do this. If the conversation goes here, do this. So what I'm thinking is to lift the veil and actually make, like, I was going to do like a full length video of like how to go from start to finish of a voice AI assistant, and just go like how I work in a Word doc. How do I pick a voice, and kind of go through that to show you it's not like impossible. Anyone can do it. But the reason they would buy our product is the further customization. It's that thought, because we have like a startup on our packages. It's either a week, depending on which package you choose, a week setup or 30 days setup until launch. So there's some time. We have a lot of questions. You got to tell Ty a lot of stuff, especially if it's your digital representation. So
that's a great idea to really engage folks. Is just show the process of how this sort of works. I love that. How does it work? Like, I know
how does it work? It's very magic. I would show my screen. I think it would look terrible it would look too small. We need to, but I think like we could do a follow-up part 2. I'm totally fine doing the release the Kraken show with you, but it's all you're doing is giving it parameters. Like I said, you're setting up how it talks. Like it knows the words, you're just giving it, write it here, so you're just directing traffic and directing a flow of a conversation, and every industry is different, the way they have a conversation, but the way someone should speak should be universal. Speaking with empathy, like actually care about the other person and try and pretend for a moment that you're in their shoes. And that's what we're teaching Ty on a ground level.
Gotcha.
Is to have that kind of understanding. So teaching AI how to talk is a lot of fun.
Where do you roadmap the company from here? Because I see like you've described like a lot of different directions you can take it to. What's the
immediate
next, say 3-6 months, and then what is
real estate
5 years look like? Really
zooming in on real estate. Yep. Absorbing it in real estate, showing, because if it can close on a cold call, a high ticket meeting with a real estate, I mean, if it's a 5,000 square foot space, that's a $30,000 to $50,000 commission. If you're at a 7,000 square foot space, you're $100,000, depending on the lease deal and the location. And so if it can set those meetings and then be a differentiator for us in commercial real estate, it translates everywhere. So I'm getting metrics, and once metrics are received, which should be this year, the next year then is using what we learned in real estate on actually implementing the calling process. We then copy, template, replicate for the other industries and customize, because the sales process is different in every industry.
Very much so. As you look at real estate, is it are you sticking on Dallas? Is it market, or is it kind of vertical expansion?
Market right now. So Tenant Services Group has a national presence. We have a lot of national clients. We're like a third party real estate firm, like a third party real estate department. So we would manage. So let's say there's a law firm that has 10 different offices in 10 different markets. Well, there's 10 different leases, and there's 10 different lease dates. And there's 10 different lease negotiations and 10 different markets and 10 different brokers that you need to speak to in 10 different markets and 10 different landlords. And so we would manage that as a portfolio and make sure that lease terms are being fulfilled and leases are being renegotiated. And so with that, then that opens us up to 2 other markets. And so the reason I had jumped on with Tenant Services Group, one, they're an early adopter of forward-thinking software solutions. And 2, I can call tenants, and if you called the hotline and asked, this is really cool, how do I get this for my business? It will tell you, oh, I'll tell Bryan. And if the person says, oh, same Bryan with real estate, yeah, and then it goes into the whole spiel.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so we're calling tenants selling something without selling it, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because they're like, why would I want this?
It's the best sales process. Selling
Yes.
without selling it is one of my favorites. What do you really want to do next outside of real estate? Do you have your eye on the next industry that'd be really fun to tackle?
Debt collection, honestly,
Ooh.
would be interesting. I have a demo for that. Collect it. That one is interesting because there's so many calls
Mhm.
and the calls are so nuanced. There's so many different I mean, someone could be pissed, someone could be sad,
Yeah.
be happy, someone could be regular, it's different. That's on the list. I think the biggest one would probably be healthcare, would be the one to tackle. So like calling into a doctor's office, optimizing that, calling into a dentist's office. My sister's a dentist. She was in the Navy. She's about to get out and she's going to have her own practice. So we're going to test it on dentist's office. But I think the medical one will be the most impactful. Government would be fun as like a number 2. So like calling the DMV,
Oh.
talking with Ty,
Oh.
calling your tax office. Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, now my brain is spinning. I think it works. Yeah,
There's a phone and there's a customer calling.
I think it works best when it's a phone and it's a customer calling, and I have a nuanced. You tell me if I'm wrong here, please. And I have a nuanced question that I need a professional to answer, but they're never available.
Yep,
hey, guilty as charged. That's me too. We run.
I was gonna say we both are guilty as that. Like
we run a small shop. I get nuanced questions that need nuanced answers. Accounting is the same way. My clients complain all the time. I can never get a hold of my CPA to answer these questions. Wouldn't it be great if
we had Ty and it would know it because you're telling it and it would speak it? I can't tell you how many megabytes of a knowledge base. It'll know it. It could be 5,000 pages and it would speak it like it memorized it. Dude, honestly, it's like how it works. I understand it, but it's so crazy that it works. Why didn't we do this sooner? Why didn't we do this sooner?
It is borderline magic, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
Honestly, it is.
The explanation.
You're like, oh shit, it did what I said to do.
And then some. You're like, whoa, I didn't think.
Whoa, it did that?
It did that?
There was one, I made some, we have a YouTube channel, very new. It's about 50 videos. Most of them are demo calls of me just playing around with Ty. I've got some funny ones. I've got some angry client calls. I've got some regular calls. We're loading more up, but yeah, Ty surprises me. And I've said it in a couple of videos. Ty even surprised me. Like I was an angry client and I called and I was like, whoa, and it like diffused the situation, said a joke at the end. Like it did like exactly textbook. If I was mad, I wouldn't be mad anymore. And it's like, I can't be mad at you. You're a voice AI. It's not your fault. It's like, it just totally takes away like all the tension. The person, I can't punch him in the face.
You're not going to feel my anger anyways.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you're angry. Great. Great. Here's what I'm going to say to you. So if I call, more of a fundamental question. If I call and I am a returning customer, like I'm thinking about this CPA example, I would imagine you could feed a CRM into Ty, so it would know. Yeah, you know my information, right? And so when I ask that nuanced question, it's not only referencing everything you can from an AI perspective and an open.
It's referencing everything that you've typed into the CRM and all the past conversations. It does do that. It learns with each new call. So it would reference if it's your client. It would ask, are you a returning client like it did on the hotline?
Yes.
A returning client or a new client, it would say, I'm a client, and it would say, well, what's your name? And it would be able to speak to you.
Mm.
What we're trying to do now is if it's a tenant in downtown and they call, can it speak to their space? So we're currently, because all you're doing is you're telling AI, here's the information you need to answer this question. Go here. So you're just trying to map out all of the a nuance of a conversation. It's not difficult at all. The Word doc for the prompts, just the voice speaking prompts for Ty on one of them is like 6,800 words. It's like not a lot, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
You know? You can't just, it's not just you can't just type it up real quick.
Yeah, no. It requires the effort to do it.
Yeah.
This is fascinating. You might want to put financial services on your.
I do. We do have financial services. Actually, let's call Pinnacle Finance.
From a regulatory perspective, I'd be curious.
Yep, it can do. Real estate is regulated by the Texas Real Estate Commission, so it knows the IABS form.
Okay, gotcha.
And they can speak to it. So if it has those questions, it can speak to it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Let's call Pinnacle Finance. So this would be this could be a CPA firm, but it's like a financial investment demo.
Oh wow. Okay.
Hello. Thank you for calling Pinnacle Finance. I'm Ty, a voice AI assistant. How can I help you today?
I am curious. My CPA is never available. How do you help?
Interesting. I can assist you in booking an appointment with one of our financial advisors at Pinnacle Finance. Would you like to schedule a meeting with one of our advisors?
Yeah, what can you schedule a meeting to talk about?
We offer various services at Pinnacle Finance, such as debit card plans, credit card plans, loan plans, business plans, and investment plans. Would you like to discuss any specific service during the appointment with our financial advisor?
The investment plan.
Great choice. I can assist you in booking an appointment to discuss the investment plans with one of our financial advisors.
Do next Wednesday at like 11 a.m.
Got it. Let's confirm your appointment for next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Just to confirm, the appointment will be on June 25th, 2025 at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Does that work for you?
Yes.
Perfect. May I have your first and last name for the appointment booking, please?
Bryan Hayes. So it'll go through, get your email, it'll send out calendar invites, it'll put it on the calendar. It actually knows you can feed it a calendar, like in your CRM. I don't know what CRM you use, but if it has that adaption or Calendly or whatever, there's the ability to do that. So it can look what is already booked and not double book you.
Perfect. I'm thinking beyond. Are you thinking about the next level there where I'm thinking about existing clients? Existing clients, we love them all. Call and ask questions that, frankly, probably AI could answer. They don't really need the nuanced information that we provide. Like account balances or transfers or when's the last time I did this? You're nodding your head like, of course it can do this. Of course it can do these things, right?
There, he gets it.
Yeah, I get it.
I love it.
I get it.
It can.
Huge.
And it will cancel, like think of real estate terms. You have an entire property, a building, and it's got 100 tenants. There's 100 different leases.
Yeah.
I knows 100 different leases. You don't need to lease abstract anymore. You just need to feed into the knowledge base all of the leases, and any of those tenants call about questions about the lease. Can I do this about this? Well, this is what you do. If not, if it can't answer the question, it'll schedule a time with a person. And okay, my question that I have is scheduled that time, that day. It's taken care of.
I love it.
It's on the calendar.
Yeah. I mean, this could ease off a lot of workload on us as advisors. It could then ease that same workload off on, our assistants that we have answer these questions that, again, like they don't need to. Like they don't need to. All this information is available. You just ask.
I will let you do more with less.
Yes. And probably makes their life easier because they're always available. Ty's always around, right? Ty, don't.
Yes, I call it any time. We'll call the Love Line. Let's go. 2 a.m.
It's too early for that.
Let's do it.
It's too early for that. We call late night Ty. Late night Ty. Call.
Oh, I'm making something called the Love Line. Just, for Googles, for Googles, for giggles.
That's really funny. When the dating apps fail, call Ty.
When the dating apps fail.
Call Ty. Hey, you can use that one. That one's free.
That was free. First one's always free. That's
Oh my
great.
God, this is hilarious. We're gonna have to do a round two. I want you to
I want to make you know what, it would be great. So this can not only do calling, but it can sit on your website. Natively chat bot where you actually type, but instead you press it and it speaks to your computer and it can book.
Let's cue that up next time. Can we cue that up next time?
We can cue that up next time.
Yeah, I want to see that.
How about I make a demo for your company?
Yeah.
And I can give you the code. I don't know if you want to put it on your website, or we can preview it so you can see it before it's live.
Mhm.
We can customize it pretty cool. Let's work on that.
Yeah,
And
let's do that.
Do a podcast round 2 and do a potential you have entire your digital representation. It's just like a demo. Just
I like that.
You don't have to no, you don't have to buy anything. I promise. Just let me show it off. That's all I'm doing. I want a demo house. My demo house.
We're into that. We love it. We're cutting edge and we mean it. So let's do it and show it. I think it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome. This has been like extremely fun.
Yeah, good.
Fun stuff here. Where can folks find you? I want folks to find you. I want them to use the tools. Where can we point them?
Point them to LinkedIn. You can find me at Bryan J. Hayes 1, or website Convrzn, CONVRZN.com.
Awesome.
Convrzn spelled really cool.
The cool way. The cool way. We're gonna link all that stuff up and then link up to some of the demo stuff as well in the show notes. People can kind of
at Convrzn on YouTube, and there's 50 videos you got.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. We'll link to that too. Bryan, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for showing us this. And thank you to Ty. Tell Ty thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ty. Hold on, let's call her out. Let's call him up.
Oh, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Thanks, Bryan.
Thank you, Brandon.
All right. Listeners, see you next time.